in law school, I think that you get so focused on the curriculum, you don't think about the interpersonal relationships. I think that law school, still around the country, fails a lot to prepare people for clients and for taking on those problems. So do you have any advice for lawyers out there, even seasoned lawyers, of when you're taking on someone's burdens, of how to confer with a client? Like, how do you put their mind at ease? What do you do in your practice?
Well, I think the big thing is, and this is very difficult to learn until you get a few years in, like, you have to pick the cases that you want and the ones that you don't. You can't, because when you first get out, you have no business. You have, what I'm saying? You don't have a Rolodex of clients that are just consistently coming in with something that they're doing. So it's so possible to just be like, I'm going to do this case absolutely sucks, but I want to get paid. Right. So I'm going to take it. And even though I know this person's going to make me miserable every single day that I work with them. So you have to avoid the temptation to just take anything because you want to build your book of business and attract clients that you want to be with. And as you go along, even once you just say, okay, now I've kind of, because we have to niche down. And lawyers don't want to think like that usually, but you have to, because you can't know everything about every single kind of law. I can't be a top-notch criminal defense attorney and be a top-notch real estate attorney at the same time. You just have to be out in the field working in those practice areas every day to get the experience. And that's what makes you valuable. And you have to be careful when you dip your toes into an area of law that you don't regularly practice, because, those common things that these everyday practitioners are dealing with, you might not be aware of. If I do a divorce case, sometimes I used to do divorces, but I haven't done them in a few years, and that it evolves every single day. And if you're not going to be in that practice area every day, you have to be able to learn, I'm just going to push away from it, because the problem for you is we're in a client-driven business. They want results. And if you can't get them the results because it's not your prime practice area, you got to know that you got to step away from it and refer them to somebody else. I mean, you're allowed to take a legal referral fee. The Bar Association doesn't even prevent you from doing that, because they recognize that it's important that sometimes I find you in a position in your life that I can't help you, but I know somebody who can. So they encourage you to pass the business on. They're usually, it would be a kickback, right? There's a kickback all over all these legal laws, but referrals, it's not the case. So you just got to know, you're going to attract the business that you want. And even once you get into your niche, you got to work with people that you want to work with, because there's some clients that you just can't satisfy no matter what you do. You have to be able to identify them, and they have to work with your flow and your vibe. And, that's the only way for you to survive, is in a semi-healthy, enjoyable experience, is to work with people in areas of the law that you like to work in, with people who you like to work with. Because otherwise, they're just going to call you. You get people that will just call you relentlessly because it's the only thing that they're thinking about. And the problem in today's practice is, right, you can call me at my office. I have 2 cell phones. You can email me. You can DM me on Instagram. You can message me on Facebook. There's no escaping your clients anymore. So work with people that you're happy to communicate with at 9:30 at night. Because the days of closing the office door at 5 on Friday and coming back on Monday, they just don't exist anymore. And if you give some people an inch, they're going to take a mile every time. So spot the type of people that you want to work with and work in a practice area that you're happy with. It's just that's literally the only advice I can give lawyers. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna, even when you're doing what you love, there's very tough days. So you gotta at least try to set yourself up for success by being happy with what you do and working with people that make you happy to do it.